Hello, welcome to class this month, Finding Your Balance.
Welcome to onlinepilatesclasses.com, the most supportive Pilates-loving community across the globe. Enjoy new weekly classes from our amazing teachers. Download the onlinepilatesclasses.com app today.
So finding your balance, honestly, as we get older, this is more and more important because a slip and fall does not feel the same as when you are younger. We don't bounce anymore. And so everything we're going to be doing is to really help us challenge our asymmetries, figure out which side is stronger, which side is weaker, really work those hips, and they'll end with some standing stuff with our leg springs and our arm springs to really give ourselves some extra goodness, right? So we'll start with the roll back bar, feet into your poles. And what I want you to focus on today, we normally focus on the spine. Actually, I want you to focus on your feet and your hands. So hands on the pole, pulling the pole wide apart, and then feet into the pole. I start with my knees bent just so it allows me to really work through the back of my legs into these poles. When you roll back, notice if one leg is pushing less than the other. Oh, hello, left side. And then roll up and over, standing into those feet. Rolling back and rolling up, standing into both those feet. And if you find that one foot doesn't want to stand in the pole as much as the other foot, that's where I want your energy to go. And you're not trying to be perfect about it, right? We're just rounding back, staying in those feet and rolling up. And if you can handle one more thought, then you will just take a look at this bar and see if both arms are pulling on it evenly or if it's one arm is higher than the other. Let's do one more time. Back, stay back there, and this time do some shoulder rolls. And as you do these shoulder rolls, standing into the feet, and then reverse those shoulder rolls. Maybe you have to reach more into one foot the whole time, and that's okay. We all have these asymmetries, right? So this doesn't mean there's anything wrong. Go ahead and take one hand the center of the bar, one arm around your waist, round back. Ooh, I have to reach into that left leg more. Slide that arm up and over. Reach for the edge of the mat, maybe the pole. Slide your leg over. You don't have to cross it. It's a goal someday, but I want to reach, especially with my left leg, I want to reach as much as I can with a flexed foot. And then slide that foot back. Try to keep the longest waist as you are in this side bend. And the reason is that it's not just about being flexible enough to touch this side of the mat. It's not about having that shoulder mobility only, right? We want all those things, but can we remain long and strong and not just hanging out and relaxing off of these springs so that in the instance that maybe we lose our balance, our body isn't like, oh, I'll just hang out here and relax and fall over. It's like, oh, actually, I know that I can work myself from a side bend back to straight. You know, when you like pick up a bag that's a little too heavy and you're like, oh, you almost like lose your balance to the side. No, just me. And again, round back, reach, slide it over, slide it back, and lift it up. Okay, now go ahead and put that away. We're going to work with our single leg springs, ideally crossed over. If for whatever reason that's not so great on your knee, then of course you can do same leg, same spring. What I do love about this is it really does fire up the outer side of our hips when it is crossed over, which is the muscles we need for balance. So hands on the vertical poles, hands a little higher than your elbows, foot that is not in the spring is on the mat, knee bent, and then foot in the strap, and you'll just reach out with a pointed foot and you'll pull the knee in. And so as I go out and in, I'm noticing, and you can't really notice with your eyes, you have to do this with feeling. I'm noticing if my hip is hiking up, because I want my knee to come in as much as it can while standing in the spring, but not as much as not if where my hip is actually hiking up and pulling in. So I'm really trying to keep that hip square with the one that is on the other side on the mat. 2 more times like this. If your foot is coming across the midline, we want to like work that outer hip there and hold it, lower and lift the leg, up and down. Inner side of the foot pressing on the strap just as much as the outer side. So it's not this is like a whole turned out foot. We're trying to get the back of the leg to do this. And then we go down, drag the foot along the mat, pick that shape up, put that shape down, slide the foot along the mat and lift. And again, press it down, drag it in, pick that shape up, place it down, slide it out and lift. 2 more. So this part of the exercise is a challenge. It's not about your heel touching your seat. It's, can I control the spring? When I bend my knee, am I still standing on that spring? And then do I reach in the back of my leg to stretch the spring out? Once you've done 1 more of these, you'll hold the leg up and then we'll stretch the opposite leg out. Okay, so 3 circles in each direction with the hip down. Then I'm going to give us the opportunity to do with the hip up. Yes, I said that. Doesn't mean you will. First of all, you could be new. You won't do it then. You could have back issues. You won't do it then. But what I love for us to see is, can we control? Can we find our balance? So the foot that's on the mat, it stays down. The ribs, they stay down. But the hip lifts, takes the strap across the body out to the side, around and up. And again, hip lifts, down, around and up. And hip lifts, down, around and up, and then we reverse. We're just doing 3 in each direction. So the hip is square, then the hip takes the leg across the body. So without that hip hiking up, our leg goes out to the side. Can you find your balance on your other leg here, even though you're crossing the midline? Whew, I hope so. I hope so. Imagine if we did this on one leg standing. I don't know. I don't know that I'm there yet, but you know, the idea is that we could. Okay, here we go, out and in first. So we do a few extra of these today, just really warming up our hip socket, seeing how much knee and hip flexion we can handle while still standing in the spring. Letting the heart come down, letting the shoulders come down. A couple more of these. You're still standing on the leg that is not in a spring, it's still working. It's nice and warmed up, it knows what to do. And we go up and down. Standing on that strap as we go up and down, not letting the spring pull us around because we are finding our own balance, and then pull the heel along the mat as much as you can and then slide it out and lift. So are you able to use your hamstrings to pull? Ooh, I let the spring pull me in a little bit more. That's so tempting to go too far too quickly. And up. A couple more of these. How's that other leg going? Are you thinking about it? Is it helping you keep your hips square? And then straighten the leg out. And we do 3 circles with the hip down. So you can find your balance here. The leg that's on the mat isn't resting, it's working. And then the shoulders and the ribs are taking up a lot of space. And then we go hip up and across, circle down, out to the side and up, hip up and across, circle down, around, out to the side. And again. And then reverse, out to the side, lift the hip and bring it down, out to the side, lift the hip. 1 more, lift. Ooh, awesome. Okay, so that's nice and warmed up. Let's come kneeling with our roll back bar. So one of the things that we can focus on in our chest expansion is we have removed the ankle out of the scenario. So if you, I'm someone who rolls my ankle, so I have to find my balance a lot from the rest of my legs. So when I'm on my knees, I've removed the ankle joint and even the knee joint, so to speak, but I have to still reach down. So what you're going to do is focus on if both knees are reaching down and hugging in. Pull the arms towards you, look both ways, and then reach the arms forward. Can you feel in your mind's eye that both legs are evenly weighted into the mat? 2 more. Woo! I have to really work to my left side. It's probably the side that was coming off the pole first. Now, when we do the thigh stretch, you can always grab a block or a ball. It gives yourself something to squeeze. But it's especially true that you want to keep reaching through both knees ideally evenly, but if you are uneven, you have to reach through one more than the other to find the balance. So the knees reach down and towards each other,